Can you take a table of contents from a book and turn it into a new profitable content empire? We're going to answer that question in just a moment. Everyone to episode 90 of the Content Profit Show. And as always, my thanks go out to everyone here live or on the replay or whatever, because it's because of you that we're at 90 shows, and it's because of you that we're at 4 shows a week, and it's because of you that I haven't figured out the numbers yet, but I'm pretty sure even when I'm taking a week off, we're going to hit 100 in the next month. And so we're going to have a special celebration for that. That's all I know so far. So just be ready for the 100th show, and I'll let you know when that's going to be. If you want to be on the show like Larry is, who we'll introduce in a moment, right down below, my name is the link, jeffherring.com/profit, and you go there to the calendar and find a place. Now, we are almost full in July and are filling up August. So if you want one of these, go for it. So right over here, a very interesting fella. He just got back from a vacation. Where is it, Larry? Where was it?
We went up to Canada, to British Columbia and Alberta.
Okay, in the Rockies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he came back, which I don't understand.
Apparently, what can I say?
Well, yeah, that's the same reason I came back from Colorado when I went out in the summer of 07. It's like I really just wanted to send for my dog, and go from there. Larry is the author of something I just love. It's a book called Self-Help 2.0. Now, you guys know my background in psychology, so I love this stuff. And Larry and I were chatting beforehand about how if the traditional self-help world worked, well, then the self-help section at the bookstore or on Amazon or over on Medium when I do searches for that wouldn't be so huge. Okay. And my theory is if all that worked, the world would be a heck of a lot happier place. All right. So Larry, welcome to the show. So glad you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, my pleasure. Let's jump over to stuff here.
Great.
You know me, I get right to it.
Yeah.
And so let's take a look here at this table of contents. Now, this is not the first time we've done a table of contents, but it may be the second. And so if you're wondering, folks, how in the world can you repurpose a table of contents? You know, I kind of wondered that too the first time I did it, and it ended up being one of the best shows. Okay, again, Self-Help 2.0, we got the intro, the traditional approach, got energy, and then the 2D and 3D perception diagram. Larry, how'd you get into this?
Like most people with self-help, it was to solve my own crap. So I had a background in sociology and social ethics, and I went to a Christian liberal arts school. So I've always had that spiritual dimension.
Yeah. Which school?
Westmont College in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah, in California. So which was a good one. I bounced back and forth. It was that or either go to Chicago, and I'd had 2 years in the military in England, and that was enough wet weather for me. So anyway, came back, and then I got married and ended up getting a divorce and knew that there was a lot of codependency stuff. I came across Melody Beattie's book, Codependent No More. And at the same time, I was introduced to NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, the Tony Robbins stuff. Okay. So all of a sudden, from there, I realized that there's an energy component. I became involved with an organization called the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. So anybody that's interested can go to energypsych.org and get a whole ton of stuff. Bottom line, we're, with my philosophy bent, I realize we have a mind-body approach to medicine, to psychology, these sort of things. But the truth is that it's mind-body energy. Yes. And it was a question then, all right, how do I bring that in to this aspect. And when I started to use the energy awareness and principles complemented with what I knew from sociology and psychology, a lot of things got better. And then I've just adapted it over the last 19 years to help a variety of people in a whole range of challenges.
The best, everything you just said is great. The best thing is, and it helped a lot of people. That, you can't argue with those kind of results, right? Does it work? I have a client that her whole thing is energy healing,
Right.
and I'm making a note to hook you two guys up because you two guys could do some stuff together. So cool. All right, so let's take this book and the rest of the table of contents, 3D perception diagram, Ponderosa process, and that's something you created and named, right?
It actually, real quick, Pondera.
Pondera?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I know. I'm from the same era you are, and I watched
Ponderosa, right?
Pondera is just a Latin word for balance.
That's the exact thing I thought of the first time I saw this. So say it again for me. Pondera?
Yeah, Pondera.
Pondera. Okay. I'll try not to mess it up again.
Not a problem.
All right, cool. And the next success step, which is always a good chapter instead of a conclusion. You've been paying attention. Awesome. All right. So let's dive in and do some stuff with this. Now, the thing this screams for, anytime you have 5 or 6 or something, you've already got the book. You've already got the ebook. It screams for a course, mini courses, that kind of thing. I want to do something a little bit differently and take you to where the lowest hanging fruit is and where you'll be able to help the most people the fastest. Okay. And it's funny how you're being prepared for stuff without knowing it. This is one of the first things I did online, this short-term coaching program, and I didn't know I'd be using it 17 years later. All right, so I forgot to do one part. Let me go back here. Where? Oh, that's right, they're down here. Like, where did the slides go? All right, here we go. All right, so folks, cool colors on that book. A new and improved path to break free from stress, anger, and codependency. It's amazing to me, Larry, how this is important for everyone, because it's been 4 years now. I was leading a small group of high school guys at church, and it was either before 10th or 11th grade. We met for that first Sunday, and I said, all right, you guys know that there's a message from stage, and we get this little curriculum that some of you guys have led, etc. I said, I want to know what you guys want to deal with this year, okay? And it was stunning to me, even though I work with this age still, and always have. They wanted to deal with stress, anxiety, and depression. And I'm like, what? You're 15. When I was 15, my biggest source of stress or anxiety was, would Bonnie say yes when I wanted her to be my girlfriend? And all that to say is, your book reaches across all generations, because, do you know that the highest risk for suicide rate is 14 to 20-year-old girls?
Yep. Social media has contributed a lot to that.
That's one of the main reasons. So I can't wait to do some. This is one of the things that makes what I do so fun, helping people help people. So let's get going. There's your book.
Yep. Now
we can use all kinds of stuff: Medium, email, webinar, social. Might as well get something good out of social media, right? Substack and other things that'll drive the traffic. Now, here's the lowest hanging fruit from what you've got. Call them short-term coaching programs. And the first one that I did was, I don't even know if I was up here full time yet. It was in 2007. And I invited 5 people to get together with me on a teleseminar. Remember those?
Yep.
And each of them would get a 20-minute review of their website with, recommendations. This is so long ago, they were looking at their website at home, and I was looking at my website on my computer, but we weren't doing it together on a teleseminar. The amazing thing is that I charged $150 a person. So in a little less than 2 hours later, I was up $750, which was good then and it's good now. And then the other piece is a lot of those people continued on the next stuff and are still with me. And so, and that's all, you can do it in more than one session. And I'll tell you in a minute why I like one session. So with all your stuff, and there's probably 200 answers to this, but Larry, what could you, using this process, what could you help somebody understand, get, accomplish in 20 minutes?
Well, using this process, you can reduce the intensity of any distressing emotion within 20 minutes.
Oh, I cannot wait to go back and look at the transcript of that. That was gold, what you just said. Did you remember what you said? Can you say?
Oh yeah, no, this is that is, I always help people. They come in, they tell me what is the behavior that is going on.
Right.
And then I say, well, what is that attached to? It's always attached to an emotion.
Sure.
When
Absolutely.
you start to reduce the intensity of the emotion, you can reduce the urgency of the behavior. You can respond instead of react.
I love it. I love it. So imagine inviting 5 people on, and they pay you, here I've said 37 or 47 for fast sales, but it can definitely be more. And you help 5 people reduce whatever that is. Okay. One of the things you need to be ready for, there's probably going to be some tears on that StreamYard or Zoom. But I'm sure you're used to that. That was the biggest thing for me. I never shared this before, I don't think in public. That was the biggest thing for me in my counseling training, was dealing with tears, because in my family, anything could be going on. But if my mom started crying, everything stopped and was made right or better or whatever. So, imagine. And now I talked to a woman recently, a buddy of mine she's in the band, one of the bands at church, and she was, talking before praying, and she teared up and she apologized. And I got with her afterwards. I said, don't you ever apologize for crying again. That's when God's showing up, for one thing. Yep. And that's real. And that's what endears you to people. And the next time she almost did it from stage, she looked out and winked at me. I was like, yes. And so, but imagine 5 people helping them through that, and the other 4 get to watch. So they're going to experience the lifting of stuff too.
Right.
Now, what's cool about that, and why I like short-term, one-time ones, is because those people are so ready for what's next. And this is like the first one I'd like to see you do. And you can have some idea of what's next, combined with asking, okay, I'm so glad this was helpful for you guys. What would you like next? And then it's wonderful when somebody tells you what they want next, and then you deliver it to them.
Right.
Sandra, you're so sweet. Look at there. Hi, Jeff. Good to be here again. Good to have you back, Sandra. Loving your great work. Thank you. It's a pleasure. That's for sure. And so what could come next, in addition to what they suggest, is let's talk about the flagship course too. Okay. And like I said, this book screams for a course. And each chapter becomes a module. Okay. And you do some video like this. If they don't have the book, you could give them some of the content of the book, or throw it in when they buy the course. Like that.
Yep.
Okay. You were thinking about that?
Well, actually, I have, probably 10 years ago, I did the first attempt at putting it into a video, so I can go dust that off.
Okay.
And,
dust it off and do it a whole lot easier than it was 10 years ago.
Oh,
And so once we've created that course, and flagship means it's something you're known for,
Right.
okay? And these are just guesstimate numbers. We can start it and then grow it. We go back to the mini courses. The first 5 chapters could be a mini course in and of itself. Okay, and you sell those for less, and then move them to the flagship course. Okay, so right here we've got we're looking at 7 products already, which ain't too shabby. Making
Yeah.
sense so far?
Yep.
Cool. Getting a glimpse of the future.
I see where you're going.
Short-term continuity. That's something like a 8, 10, 12-week program. My first one was multiple streams of article income. The next one was article marketing for beginners, and that was a 12-week course. And each week they got sent a PDF instructions and a video telling them what to do. Okay, and one of the cool things you can add to it is give them an assignment, and they send it back to you.
Okay.
I was laughing at myself earlier when I stopped by the grocery store after errands, because there's a 20-year-old kid there I've kind of just befriended in talking with people. Surprisingly, I talk to people in public, and she wants to be a speaker, and I had given her assignment, out of somebody that's doing cool stuff on Insta, and she was like, "I almost got that done." I'm like, "Cool," and I just walked away laughing, going, "You're giving assignments at Publix, Jeff? Come on, please." However, it worked. And especially when they turn it in and you make recommendations and hand it back, they're getting a taste of your coaching.
Right.
Okay? And so the other good thing about short-term continuity, like in one of the 3-month programs I did, it was $37 a month, 111 over time. But what that gets people used to is paying you 37, 47, whatever a month. So that when it comes time to talk about the membership, the monthly continuity, which this also screams for, it's an easy sell. Well, you just did this for 3 months. Let's keep doing it, and we can do blah 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 blah. I mean, you know how that works. You're in my content profit niche.
Right.
And so that right there is, I mean, that's a business right there. You won't really need to be doing anything else. I have this to be created later, because as we work together, we'll identify something. It might be private coaching. It might be, who knows what it might be. But we've got now 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 sources of income, short-term continuity and monthly continuity. The beautiful thing about this, okay, and I am not. I have a friend that's an accountant, and he's in love with numbers, and I can't think of anything more atrociously boring. Okay?
My wife's an actuary.
What's that?
My wife is an actuary.
Well, there you go. We'd get along great. And so the numbers I do pay attention to are conversions and those kind of things. And over time, about a quarter of the people that do one of these are in your monthly. About half of the people that do, well, more like a third that do a course are in here. Half of the people that do a short-term continuity end up here. And so it's a beautiful thing. And you get to help people while you're doing it. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, this is why I'm like getting super excited for you. So making sense? Any questions?
No, I just have to sit down and say, okay, make it in bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
So I don't get myself overwhelmed.
Yeah. And you shared that with me, and now you brought it up. Folks, this is what I'm about to say is not just for Larry. It's for all y'all. And that's Southern for the plural of y'all, all y'all. And for me too, because we're creative, we like to learn, and we like to give it all at once. And, we're attracted to the next thing or the next thing or the next thing. My coach is really good at saying, put that on the later shelf. focus on this. Okay. And so we'll do that, and that whole inch wide and mile deep, and I'll help you, put on the blinders. Because there's a great old story about somebody learning how to drive a race car, and with a passenger teaching them how, right? And apparently when people go into skids, they want to avoid the wall, but they're looking at the wall. And so that passenger's job, the coach, is to grab his helmet and point it in the right direction, and so they don't crash, which I love, because if you're as into getting into stuff as I am, it's easy to get excited and crash. And this is not only for you, Larry, this is for everybody. My former father-in-law, best thing he ever taught me, in his office one day, he sat me down and he drew the picture of a clock on a whiteboard. Okay. And he drew 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And he said, from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock is the excitement of ideas, idea generation and creativity. We could do this, we could do that, we could, right? Okay. He said, Jeff, what most people do is they get to 6 o'clock and they go back up and get another idea and do all the excitement. Where 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock is all the steps, all the implementation, ending with money in the bank. And I remember it then thinking, this is going to change my life. And I've got some graphic somewhere for that and a name for it that I can't think of now. So thank you, John. Anyway, I told you 20 minutes would go by really fast.
Yeah, it does.
And they have, because I get so excited. I'm excited for you. And so if you have more questions, we'll be talking a little bit afterwards, and you can shoot them out. I want to thank you, Larry, for bringing such great stuff to the show.
It's my pleasure.
You make it easy and exciting to work with this stuff.
Well, just for your audience, this is something that this book had been percolating in the back of my head, but I had to grow through a whole lot of stuff before I could sit down and do that. Fortunately, I found a great editor, but it was like you find those certain things that you can't say no to.
Right.
And this is something I knew I had to do. Otherwise, I would have a major regret.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So now it's just a question of how to share it with more people.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to work on.
Excellent.
And folks, I want you to look at the screen right now, okay? And look at Self-Help 2.0 and the beautiful butterfly, the beautiful shades of purple, which has a lot of meaning. And I want you to remember that, because you're going to see that again. You're definitely going to see that again. All right. Once again, Larry, thank you so much. Folks, thank you for being here and supporting us. If you want to be sitting in Larry's seat, not in his beautiful home, but in your own office or home, the link right below my name is jeffherring.com/profit, and you'll get to do what Larry just did with your stuff. So I like that thumbs up. So folks, as always, until then, go use this stuff and we'll catch you next time.